So who is presenting today?
I think you will do the opening part.
If you send me the script, I will be very happy to read the opening remark for you.
Okay, that's going to be in Bahasa Jawa from Pak Dangin, actually. Okay, we're still waiting for some to join.
Oh, there you go. The speaker is there.
Ivone is going to do the presentation.
Yeah.
Basic presentation.
Ivone told me that maybe for you it's better if you stay outside the room.
He's joking, Pak.
No, I bought a ticket. I bought a VIP ticket.
Oh, VIP.
So I have to be in the room.
Yeah. Okay.
When it is a VIP, then you do not need to buy anything, Pak.
Yeah, your coffee and your cookies is going to be sent directly from Malang to Singapore. That's Christmas, Pak. So soon you will.
Cookies.
Yeah. Somebody is going to knock on your door. So be prepared to open that, Pak. To accompany the watching the presentation.
That would be good. Yes.
Lagi mau beli Pak Willy sama Ivone kalau nggak begini.
We still waiting, Pak Jati.
Kakak Francis here?
Not yet.
Not
here yet. But I think we can start.
We can start, and Francis will.
Because
okay, so I'm going to start. Good evening, Ibu dan Bapak, everybody. Selamat malam. Very happy to meet you again here in iTELL Like Monday. This is the third and the final event actually from our iTELL Like Monday sessions. So we have been through iTELL Like Monday, the first one from Pak Jati, Pak Towar, and Pak Agus, and then the second from Pak Calvin and me, myself, and then the last we have from Ibu Ivone and Ibu Frances. So welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a very nice occasion. Merry Christmas to those who celebrated it. And then also happy days. Yeah, enjoy the festive seasons for everyone. So in this iTELL Like Monday, the third one, we are going to have two very beautiful ladies and presenters who are going to share with us all about how to prepare presentations and how to deliver a very nice and neat presentation. So I would like to welcome the president of iTELL first, Bapak Kumawang Jati, to welcome you all and say something. Silakan, Bapak.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Pak Eri. Thank you, everyone. Hi, Pak Willy. It's great to see you here. Hi, Bu Tina Friatin, also a friend from Bangladesh. Ibu Asran, thank you very much for coming. Usually we have one or two from Vietnam. I haven't seen them yet, but they might come later on.
Yeah.
This is going to be our last talk on the road to iTELL conference 2022. Hopefully that you can come. Ivone is going to talk about around presentation. So that's not so scary to present at iTELL conference. Hopefully that you will come and join to Jogja. The conference is not that important actually, but Jogja is the best. Don't miss that one. And the day of the conference. Yeah, so go around Jogja and then come to the conference, or conference first and then weekend in Jogja. Okay. Thank you and enjoy the show. Relax. You have any questions, feel free to type in the chat, or later you can open your microphone, raising your hand and so on. And this is, again, casual, not really formal. So have your coffee and also your cookies. Yeah. Thank you,
Right.
Pak Heri. Time is yours,
Thank
Pak.
you. Thank you, Pak Jati. Very warm welcome, yeah, from the President. So, Ibu Bapak and ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have our introduction, the next agenda from the iTELL conference. So you will be reminded again of the beauty of Jogja, and also not to forget to submit the abstract, which is on the Valentine's Day. So who is going to share? Pak Dangin, yeah, Mas Dangin.
Yep.
All right, time is yours, Pak.
Thank you, Pak Made or Pak Heri.
Yeah.
And thank you all for having me here. Firstly, I would like to wish you Merry Christmas for those who celebrate it. And let me introduce myself. I'm Dangin from PBU MBY, and I'm also the chairman of the committee of iTELL Conference 2022. May I share my screen, Pak Heri?
Sure, Pak.
Well, as mentioned before, Pak Jati and Pak Heri as well, that this couple of sharing, the first, second, and the third one is about Road to iTELL Conference 2022, and this is the last sharing of this topic. And yeah, once again, I'd like to thank you for Pak Jati and team for having me here, and also British Council if the representative attends today. Yeah, well, we are PBU MBA. We take responsibility as the host of iTELL Conference 2022, and we are collaborating with iTELL Indonesia and also British Council. And we come up with main themes is about online learning, then, now, and future directions. It means that in the conference, we would like to talk about online learning, and yeah, it's been 2 years maybe. We have been through the pandemic era, and we will find something new maybe in the conference, because yeah, what I have heard that maybe next year we will have new design of learning, can be on full online learning or face-to-face again, or even the hybrid one. So yeah, it's kind of challenging for us to bring this topic. And the next, what are in the conference? As many conference that we will have a keynote speakers session. We will invite national and also international speakers to share their idea or their thought to the audience. And also we have a plenary session. And the last one is about parallel session. Yeah, it's about usual conference, but I'm sure that we will have extraordinary inside the every single session here. So yeah, hopefully some of you will join this conference, because we try to provide and we try to give the participants challenging experience within the conference. And the next, as I saw that in previous conference from iTELL, that the conference provide us like a workshop, and also sharing moment, like what we have see, we can see in the picture is about how to practice. Maybe the participants were mostly teachers. They could practice, and like what we have seen here, using VR, it means that we practice how to use technology in the classroom and how to make it more interesting for the students. And the next one, we have also in the conference, we have also like challenge to participants, like maybe quiz, or maybe meeting competition, how to explore your idea, and then like what we see in this picture, our president, iTELL president Pak Jati, gave the reward to the selected participants. So yeah, it's gonna be joyful, I think. And the next, like I have said before, that the main theme is about online learning. We try to figure out the what the potential of online learning then, now, or even the direction. So you can access the sub themes about our conference in registration link. You can check it later, and we what you can choose which one is suitable for you. And the next, yeah, like what we have discussed in the meeting, that in this conference, Pak Jati also said that we should provide opportunities to teachers or even lecturers to find as many as possible the new relationship. It means like what social channel, or even what we call educational channel. So yeah, in the classroom we will focus on the sharing moment, but in the tech talk over coffee, we like to provide you opportunity to get some experts maybe that related to your class or to related to your expertise. That's the main point of us. We will provide it. The next, yeah, what I have said before, that one of the purposes in this conference is about building a professional network. It means that you can you can meet the idol of your expertise. Maybe, for example, me, I can meet like Pak Jati, Pak Willy. Yeah, it's about amazing experience for me at that time when I was a participant. So we will we hope that you will get it again and again, and then you will bring new topic, you will share, you can build more about professional network inside. And the next one, yeah, hopefully most of you will join our conference. We can we can share our thought. And maybe Pak Jati said that this conference is not so important, but yeah, for me and maybe for some teachers or lecturers, I think this conference is gonna be like amazing conference for us, and it will provide us extraordinary experience in the conference. So yeah, we will welcome you, and as also Jogja never close to all of you. Yeah, see you on iTELL Conference 2022. But before I close, Pak Heri, maybe I will give some audience here about frequently asked question. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's frequently asked questions. Mostly we have this kind of questions, and I'd like to clarify and maybe give an overview about these questions. The first one is, apakah harus research based? Apakah harus research based atau boleh sharing pengalaman? Ya, related to this question, kita tidak mengharuskan apa yang di-sharing adalah research based. It's kind of berbagi pengalaman itu juga akan menambah insight kita tentang pembelajaran online, dan harapannya atau kita bisa menyajikannya dalam bentuk naratif. Dan selanjutnya adalah, apakah abstrak harus memasukkan citation? Ya, tidak harus ya Bapak Ibu, citation tidak harus karena ini abstrak. Dan selanjutnya, apakah conference Ini free untuk guru dan dosen. Kita berbayar, nanti bisa diakses di website kita, tapi ada beberapa guru yang terpilih itu bisa memperoleh teacher grant seperti itu. Dan mungkin Pak Heri, karena waktu tadi juga kita molor ya Pak Heri, jadi nanti frequently asked question-nya bisa diakses di website selanjutnya seperti itu. Thank you for everybody. Good evening.
Thank you, Mas Dangin. Very clear and interesting. Yeah, as usual, iTELL, as you know, probably offers something different and unique compared to the other events, let's say like that. And then we are happy to welcome you to Jogja. Yeah, and if you have any other questions, go to Mas Dangin or us, and then also the website. I think it is now to start the session, the main event. So we have it's showing up now. So Ibu Ivone, our first speaker. How are you, Ibu Ivone?
Good, Pak Heri. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good to meet you, yeah, virtually.
Good to meet you again.
I believe that Bu Ivone will share us very interesting topic regarding what is assigned. But first thing first, let me read the short bio from Ibu Ivone. So Francisca Maria Ivone now teaches at Universitas Negeri Malang, Department of English. She earned a BA in ELT from the same university before continuing her education at the University of Queensland in Brisbane, Australia. This university awarded her an MA and a PhD in applied linguistics. Today, she researches the area of ELT, technology enhanced language learning, extensive listening and viewing, extensive reading, learning autonomy, and collaborative learning. Very impressive. Okay, now please welcome Ibu Ivone. Time is yours.
Thank you, Pak Heri. So good afternoon, everyone. How are you all?
Good.
So allow me to share my screen. So my presentation will be very simple. And I think I'm given this topic because I'm not a good presenter. Right, Pak Willy? Presenting is a challenge for me. I'm not a public speaker, and therefore I rely a lot on preparation when it comes to presentation. So today I'm going to talk about preparing a presentation. Okay, I'm from Universitas Negeri Malang and also representing iTELL. So have you ever asked people after you're presenting something in a seminar or other events, what they think of our presentation? So anyone, do you want to share your experience, or you can share your experience in the chat box if you want. So have you ever asked them? And what sort of answer do you get? Have a minute. Anyone? Pak Heri, perhaps you want to help me out with the answer? Good, but okay. Pak Jati said good, but. So have you ever asked someone, what do you think of my presentation? Or Pak Willy, perhaps?
Yes, we sometimes I personally ask also about that, but sometimes I was afraid also too, Bu Ivone.
Right, just like Mbak Neni, yeah, Mbak Neni, I'm too afraid to ask. Yeah, usually I ask people and their answers are basically very positive. They say, amazing, superb, the audience devour it, or your presentation was good. Pretty neutral. Well, this is just a joke, yes. So it's not actually about my presentation, but it was talking. The person was talking about the free food in the seminar. So we do not want people to just remember us as your presentation is good, or they remember the food more than our presentation. And that's why preparation is actually a very, very important part of presentation. Now, the first thing so today I'm going to share my experience. Yeah, you may have different experience and later we can talk about it, we can discuss, you can give me more information about what I should prepare for my next presentation probably. Yeah, so from my point of view, the first thing that I think about is the audience and also the presentation format. Because when we know the audience, then we can prepare better. When we do not know the presentation format, then it's very difficult for us to later on deliver our presentation. So in terms of audience, I usually think about what do I want my audience to bring home? So this is like, what will their takeaway be? Like, will they take home something to drink or something to eat? It's just a metaphor. So I want them to bring home something from my presentation, not just they attend my presentation and then forget about it in an hour or so. So different presentation formats will also need different kind of preparation. So when we research something and then we want to present it in a presentation, then probably we should present about the background of our research or in the form of introduction, and then methodology, results, findings, and conclusions. So pretty straightforward. And I'm sure that this is like the easiest part. When it comes to presenting research-based presentation, it's quite easy because you have clear stages or parts that you want to cover in your presentation. But when it comes to conceptual kind of presentation, it's a little bit more complicated because, sorry, it's not as straightforward as you can see. I'm very nervous. Okay. So it's not as straightforward as research-based. Usually we talk about the topic and then try to focus it into something manageable. And then we talk about the aspects of the topics based on the literature, whether we talk about the trends or gaps or things like that. And then we discuss the aspects of the topic that we want to discuss and then conclude or suggest something, or we talk about what the future it's going to be like, something like that. When it comes to workshop, then the format will be very different. And when it comes to poster, then it's also going to be quite different. So it's very important to structure our presentation and select content. And I think a lot of us are struggling with this because when we select content, we think that everything is important. From the point of view of a presenter, everything is important. But if we give everything, then we will probably run out of time and our audience will not get what we want them to get. Yeah, so structure is very important. For research-based, probably this structure is the most commonly used kind of framework, like the introduction and the method, results and discussion, and then conclusion and a little bit of suggestion. But if we want to cover something which is not part of a research, probably we want to use a kind of time frame or story to tell our audience what we want to talk about. So the past, the present, and future. So some sort of structure is needed. And usually I come up with this, 3 is my magic number. 3, it's enough. People remember things when we present them in quite a limited number, and 3, I guess, it's quite manageable. And it's very good when it comes to presentation like this. So another 3, this is a presentation that I used before in my previous presentation. So focus on different topics, but then things which are quite manageable for our audience to get, not too many. So don't put 7 or 8, that would be too many. And the next one will be beware of time limit. And this is what a lot of presenters are struggling with, including me. Usually I prepare lots of things simply because I think that I will have time. But when it comes to speaking in public, actually we tend to add more when we talk. So we should not prepare too many slides because we will at the end run out of time. So to help us with time management, help me with my time management, usually I have a kind of plan. So this will go for 5 minutes and another 2 minutes, 3 minutes and 4 minutes. So we time it so that at the end of the day, we know that we are not going to exceed our time, because when we, for example, have only 15 minutes and we use 20 minutes for our presentation, and then another person, well, the next presenter after us, the person will have to rush or perhaps drop some of the slides because they do not have enough time. So, and the next thing that I always think about when I present is the proportion of text and visuals, simply because I am a visual person. So I tend to ignore text when they come in large quantity. Yeah, so proportion of text and visuals are very important. So take a look at this slide. When you see this slide, what do you think? Let me know in the chat box, or you can shout out through your microphone. When you see this, it's a little bit boring, right? Because we only see text. And if we use this as a link, it's okay. But if we talk about this and we go from one bullet points to another, it's actually quite demanding for our audience, because they have to process lots of text. But if we take a look at this particular visual, for example, a visual like this, and we talk about it, and then we show another visual, and then we talk about it, and then you show something like this, and you can talk more about it. So just 3 pictures, and you can say lots of things, rather than when we only have 4 lines of text. Now, something like this is also things that I use often in my presentation. So infographics, simply because we process this a lot easier than just bullet points. And this is actually quite dense in terms of information. And when we have slides like this and we spend time talking about this, we need to be aware of time limit again, because this can take about 5 minutes to explain just one single presentation slide. Another thing that I learned from presenting is that when we deal with technology, things go wrong. Things can easily go wrong. And I've been in a situation in which I had no internet connection or blackouts or things like that. So these days, I tend to put everything inside of my presentation slides instead of going online and use the internet. Because when I record something, using screen recording on my cell phone or on my laptop, I can time it so I can again know how many seconds I need for that particular slide. Yeah, so this is my first tip. Usually I take pictures from the internet and then I use remove background when the background is still there. So this is exactly the same picture. I put it in remove.bg, and then I put a video from my screen reader and put it there, and it plays like that. All right, next one. So visual, it's very important of a presentation. My presentation always has lots of images, and I found them in the past. I used to find them and put them in my presentation without knowing where they are from. And these days, when we go online like this, it's actually quite dangerous because we can violate copyright issues quite easily by doing that without acknowledging the sources of our images. So lately, I've been using Google Image. Yeah, so for example, this particular picture, I took it from the internet quite a long time ago, and then I do not remember where I took it from. So I put it here. So I upload this picture to Google Image, and it gives me information about that particular image and then the source of that particular image. And at the end of the day, I can find the source of the image and put it in my presentation so that I can acknowledge the owner of that particular picture. So just a tip. And then another one, to me, colors are important. So for instance, in my presentation today, I'm using this color palette. So using this particular website, I can actually choose the hex code here. Hex code, sorry, I don't remember the name. Yeah. So I can actually put my cursor hex, yeah. Okay. Put my cursors anywhere in here, and that particular space will be shown here, and the color code is going to be shown here, and I can use it in my presentation so that my presentation can look a little bit more professional. And the last one is interaction. When we have time, we can actually include interaction in our presentation. So using like polling apps, like usually we use Mentimeter a lot here in iTELL, but we can use other poll apps, yeah, like Opinion Stage or other apps. This will enable us to interact with our audience while we are doing a presentation, but we can also leave it at the end of our presentation for the Q&A session. So just 5 things, yeah, for tonight, just 5 things. Think about our audience and then the presentation format so that it can prepare the best presentation we can create, and then structure our presentation and limit it into some selected content only so that we do not put everything inside of our presentation and we run out of time, because we do have time limit when it comes to presentation. And then think about the proportion of text and visuals, because visuals or illustrations, they speak more than words. And the next one, when you have time, well, put interaction inside of your presentation or after. And after that, what we need to do is just practice, practice, and practice. And then on the day of presentation, hopefully, when we see you in iTELL conference next year, you will be able to present with confidence and we will enjoy presentation. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you very much, Ibu Ivone. I like the last slide, especially. Yeah, give applause to Ibu Ivone for very insightful and very neat, yeah, very neat and tidy presentation. I like it personally, and I hope I believe the audience also like it. So I'm not going to conclude anything because it's clear, and Ibu Ivone already also concluded the 5 main points that you need to consider when you want to prepare your presentation. So, but I'm going to invite you to ask questions later for discussion, yeah, after Ibu Francis. So, Ibu dan Bapak, if you have any questions, you can write in the chat box while we are waiting for the presentation for Ibu Francis. Thank you very much, Ibu Ivone, once again. Yeah. Now, I would like to invite Kakak Francis, yeah, I call her Kakak, yeah, normally. How are you, Kakak Francis?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, I'm good too. Are you still in Makassar?
I am. So it's kind of late here.
Okay. Yeah.
We're on the same time zone.
Same time zone in Bali.
Exactly.
Right, right. So, Ibu and Bapak, ladies and gentlemen, we will have Ibu Francis Sinanu as our second speaker today. Let me read her biography, yeah, short one. So, Francis Sinanu is a faculty member in the English Language Education Department at Universitas Kristen Satyawacana in Salatiga, Indonesia. She has over 20 years of experience as a language teacher teaching English and Indonesian to foreign speakers in Indonesia and the US. She obtained her master's degree from Teachers College, Columbia University. She is also a co-founder and board member of iTELL. Very nice to welcome you, Kakak Francis. Time is yours.
Thank you. Hello, Ibu Bapa, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I see people not from Indonesia, so I'm not going to speak in Bahasa Indonesia, I guess. Good evening. Hello from Makassar. Merry Christmas to those celebrating Christmas. I'm still in my Christmas mood. I just came back from a Christmas celebration. That's why I was a little bit late logging in. I'm sorry, Pajati. Okay, so my part is the last part, and it's about delivering your presentation. And I believe all of us have presented at in a conference at some point that I feel like I shouldn't really give you anything. So I guess what I'm gonna do today is I'm just gonna share some reminders for all of us, myself included, on what we need to think when we present. And I really like Yvonne's highlights when in your sharing earlier on the first thing that we need to think about. And I always say that is when you speak, your focus is not on what you say, but what your audience will get from you. So you need to focus on the audience, and that will help your presentation delivery because you put the audience first, not yourself. Okay. I do ask people, how did I go? How did my presentation go after my presentation? Always asking for feedback. What did I do wrong? Oh, you put too many emphasis on the definition and so on. But that's why I like this quote from Dale Carnegie. So I'm going to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, Ibu Bapa, how many of you ever regret after you presented, like, I should have said this, or aduh, in bahasa Indonesia we say, aduh, tadi kok kurang ini ya. If you are with me, just give me a reaction or type in the chat. Oh, okay, Ibu Nida, yes, you do that. All right. Ibu Charlene, all right. Yes. Nanny as well. Okay. This is the quote from Dale Carnegie, the father of public speaking, on your presentation. I'm going to cover his face. So there are always three kinds of speeches for everyone that you actually gave. The one you practiced. Yvonne said practice. The one you actually gave. And the one you wish you gave. So after your presentation, you will revise your presentation. You will revise the structure of your presentation. You will revise the language that you used. Last week, I presented in Saturday Tech Talk, and my sister watched it from Canberra, and she said, you used too many, I'm gonna. So now I'm going to. So you learn from each presentation. So that's the first thing that I want us to remember, that I really like the practice that Yvonne highlighted earlier as well, because in delivering your presentation, it's never going to be smooth, and it's never going to be as planned. That's the first thing that you need to remember. So what to practice? That's the next question, right? Ibu Bapa, ladies and gentlemen, you practice your presentation, your talk. What is it that you already planned? Now, I like this picture. I'm in a food mode this time. Burger, yes. So I always consider give this analogy to my students when I shared about a presentation, because a presentation should be like a burger, a real burger, not a deconstructed burger that you can find in some high scale restaurants, but a real burger that you have a bun on top and then bun on the bottom and then the content. So this is how I see my presentation. In the top one, that is the introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, you tell people what you are going to tell. And then in the content, that is where all your the content of the burger, you have bacon, you have beef, you have cheese, you have lettuce, all those things, you tell them. And then in the conclusion, you will tell them what you just told them in your closing. So I always think a bit of the presentation like this. So make sure you have a complete burger. Don't spend too much on the bun, on the introduction, the amount of time, but not enough time in the content. People don't want to eat the bread only, right? You want to eat the beef, the whatever inside, the eggs, lettuce, tomato, avocado inside the burger. So that is what you practice. You practice how to open your presentation, how to deliver your talk, and how to close it. That is the practice. Now, how many of you always experience this? I do, even now, especially. I was late logging into Zoom and I haven't started my computer. So you sometimes experience this, right? Demam panggung, in Bahasa Indonesia we said it. Stage fright. Aduh. And that's normal. I always say, if you're nervous, it means this is important. It means you cared about this. So a little bit of nervous is fine. I'm sure Pak Willy is here. Maybe he never feels nervous anymore, considering the jam terbang tinggi. But I always consider nervous is a good sign. It means that this is important for you. So don't worry if you feel nervous. Now, my tactic, Ibu Bapa, for nervousness is to remember the first sentence that you're going to say. So whatever it is, even if you forgot your content, you memorize the first line. So what do you want to use? You want to use the formal one or the informal one, but you remember that. For example, you practice good afternoon or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, greetings from Makassar. I memorized that. So even if I'm late, I will remember that I have to say that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my session. I remember that. Now, I found these materials. I'll give you the link to the materials later. I'm going to stand up now. Now you can see here is the formal language, okay? Perhaps we should begin. Okay, so I memorized that. So you can also memorize that. So Ibu Bapa, you can read this. You can read this. You don't have to unmute, just read this. Perhaps you should begin. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of iTELL, or on behalf of iTELL 2022 conference, may I welcome you. You memorize that so you don't forget. So even if you're nervous, stage fright, it will come out automatically. And you can also dedicate the question and answer. Perhaps we can leave any questions you may have at the end of my presentation. If you memorize this, it will make it easier for you even when you're nervous. Or you can go to the more friendly one. You can say, okay, let's get started. Morning, everyone. But you remember this, you memorize this, it will help you. It helps me a lot because I remember what I'm gonna say. Okay, so this is just my tips, Ibu Bapa, on how to navigate presentations. Okay, let's see what people say in the chat here. Prepare the script. Okay, right, the script is good, Ibu Nida, definitely you use script. But now that brings me to the next part. Remember, in a presentation, Ibu Ivone already mentioned that you can have audio-visual aid, and you can have your a lot of pictures. Now, when you start, the bun, okay, we're going back to the bun here, ladies and gentlemen. Yang belum makan malam mungkin abis ini beli burger ya. You tell them what you're going to tell them, but before you do that, you need to hook them, right? You need to attract the audience so that they will listen to you before you tell them what you will tell them. And you can use problems, you can use amazing facts, and you can use stories. So when you do this, people will think, right? When you give them problems, they will think. They will automatically be attracted to whatever you're going to say next because they want to know the solution to your problems, probably. If you give them amazing facts, then they will say, oh, wow, I never thought about that, okay? Or you give them stories, especially personal stories about yourself. Then people will like, oh, okay, I never knew that. Oh, really? Okay, so that is one way to attract your audience. Now, I mentioned earlier reading script. I like this to remind people that you are your number one AVA, okay? You, Ibu Bapa, not the fancy Canvas slides or PowerPoint, but it's you, okay? So I like this picture, you, All right. So what you need to do is you need to practice with yourself, with the voice. Okay. You don't want to talk, good morning everybody, welcome, with the high pitch all the time. It's gonna be boring, right? You don't like to listen to that, okay? Ibu Eva Robianti was laughing, okay, yeah, you don't like that. Or too loud. I'm an Ambonese, I normally speak loud. I'm like, good evening ladies and gentlemen, so welcome. Imagine if especially in a virtual environment, people will, I can see Pa Willy was like, adjusting the headset, so probably it was too loud, and you don't want that. The rate, the voice quality, and the articulation, especially for us, because English is not our first language, it's not our native language, so we have a challenge in presenting in English, right? And that's why you need to prepare yourself first. I always say to my students, before you present or before you come to any speaking classes, make sure you do your mouth gymnastic in the morning, or do the tongue twister. So let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, Ibu Bapak, yo, high-tech traveling tractor, trailer, truck, tracker. Ya, jangan senyum, Ibu Eva, ayo.
Anyone?
Anybody? Let's just do this together, even though you're not unmuted, but you can just practice, okay? So this is also a nice way to warm up yourself. Warm up your vocal cord, because you're going to be speaking. It depends. If you're speaking in a conference, probably 15 to 20 minutes plus question and answer. If you're a keynote speaker, then you probably have 1 hour session. If it's early in the morning, make sure you warm up your vocal cord so that it's not going to be painful for you at the end. Okay, let's go back to you as your AVA. Ta-da! This is also very important, Ibu Bapak. Eye contact. Now we are in an online environment, so it's a challenge for you, right, to maintain eye contact. But we can do that. You can just look at the camera. Don't look at yourself. We have the tendency to look at ourselves in Zoom, right? This is me looking at the camera, looking at myself, and this is me looking at the camera. Now, can we do that? Ibu Bapak, if you are on camera, would you please look at the camera and just talk? Even if we cannot hear you, just talk. Look at the camera. I want to see you. Okay, Ibu Nina, you're still looking at yourself. Look at the camera. Okay. All right. Who else? Oh, nobody's turning on the camera. Okay. All right. I can see Pa Raymond. Look at the camera. Okay, don't look at yourself. Look at the camera. That is one way for us in a virtual environment to make sure that the audience are looking at us, right? You feel like, okay, I'm talking to you. The challenge is you're going to have to move to the monitor and go back and then move again and then go back and then move again and see, okay, Calvin is nodding, okay, I can see, but that is the trick. But you need to maintain eye contact. Now, if you are in a face-to-face conference, of course it's easy. You can just look at your friend or anybody in the audience and really look into their eyes. If you are afraid to make eye contact, what you can do is you can look at this part of the face here. So don't look at the eye, but look at here, and then it will feel like you are looking at someone, right? And you can just and people will feel like, the audience will feel like you are maintaining eye contact. So don't forget to do that, yeah, Ibu Bapak. Also, eye contact, if you are in a face-to-face environment, you need to make sure that you don't just look at one person. You don't pick a favorite, but you move to the right, to the left, to the other side of the house. So when you stand up, okay, I'm gonna stand up again. What you can do is you can just go, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and then you go to the center, and then you go to the right. Come on, can you do that? Everybody, let me see your movement here and then here. You give equal attention to your audience, because your audience wants to know what wants to listen to you, and you have to consider the audience is the king of your presentation. They are the most important. Ibu Srifani, I don't dress properly for this occasion. Okay, Ibu. Now dress is also important. Okay, outfit, your posture when you stand up. You don't want to slouch. You want to stand up in a positive posture. You want to make sure that people feel, oh, okay, she knows what she's talking about. Oh, you build credibility with your outfit as well. Now, you're lucky. In iTELL, we are very casual. You can just come with your jeans. It's very casual. But if you attend a conference that requires formal outfit, make sure you pick your outfit formally. Also, in a virtual environment, make sure you put appropriate virtual background so that you look professional, right? Enough. That people don't say, ibu-ibu lagi masak di dapur, for example. You don't want to do that, right? In a virtual environment. Okay, so now don't forget this posture and then movement. I move a lot. I also move my hands a lot, and that's annoying. Okay, so what you can do when you practice is you can record yourself, and then you can see. And you can see which one that I don't like. I don't like when I do that, so don't do that. That's the part of practice, practice, practice. And we have the technology to help us recording and also watch our recording later on. All right, so before I end my talk, I'm just gonna give you something here, signposting. A lot of presenters, when they talk, they just tend to say next, 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 okay? That's annoying as well. So try to vary your signpost. Try to vary your phrases, the phrases that you use to guide your audience throughout your presentation. Use to move on, to expand, to go back, to conclude, to summarize, to turn on, to elaborate on, etc. Final thing is survival tactics. This is very important, especially since English is not our first language, right? So sometimes you get your facts wrong. Sometimes you forgot to say something, or sometimes you say something in a very complicated way, or in a very long sentence that you have to rephrase it. So this is one way to do that. Okay, you can use these phrases. For example, if you get your facts wrong, you can say, sorry, what I meant is blah, 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 and then you can give the correct fact. Or if it's too fast, or you forgot something, then you can use these phrases, okay? You don't have to be sweating and nervous. Just use the survival tactics. If you don't have time, okay, like now I'm over time, so okay, so just to summarize on my talk, and then I can go on and end that. So I think that's what I want to say. Oh, I have one more slide. I'm sorry. This one. Question and answer. Especially in our culture, Indonesian culture, we tend to feel like we have to answer everything. Like when you present, you have to know all the answers. But that's not the case. In a presentation, you are the master of your topic because this is your talk. People come to listen to whatever you're doing, right? But sometimes they ask questions. Sometimes they ask difficult questions. Sometimes they ask unnecessary questions, or sometimes they ask irrelevant questions. Now, for all of the questions that they ask, you have to respond. You don't just be nervous, for example, when they ask a difficult question and you're like, Mati, oh no, I don't know the answer, and then you scratch your head. No, you respond to it. You can say, I don't know that off the top of my head. So you use beautiful language as well. And you say, can I get back to you on that? If you give me your email address, then perhaps I can email you back with the data because I don't really have it at the moment. If it's a good question, then you can say, good point, especially if it's a question that you forgot to mention in your presentation and somebody asked in the question and answer session. That's a good question because that gives you a chance to say whatever you forgot to say earlier. If it's a difficult question, you can also ask the audience back. Interesting. What do you think? And then they can give their own opinion, and you can have a discussion and conversation, and that's what conference is all about, where we learn from each other and we continue the academic conversation and discourse that you're doing. All right, I think that brings me to my last picture, which is the references. So if you go back to iTELL Facebook and you want to look at the materials that I used in my pictures here, These are the books that I use for my academic speaking class that I think will help teachers, you, in preparing your presentation at any conference, but especially ITEL 2022. Thank you. Back to you, Pak Made.
Oh, thank you very much. Please give applause, round applause to Ibu Francis. Yeah, it's always like this when Kakak Francis is on the stage, and I like the energy. Yeah, the energy. She is so energetic, but then you can always learn from her. Technically and also conceptually, yeah, on delivering the presentation. I think you can learn a lot from what she said just now, but basically you have to prepare yourself and remember that it's you, yeah, that is the most important, that you have to prepare and deliver the materials well. So technically you can ask her later on how to do a kind of presentation with the slides on the back, or you can stand up like that and then move to the right, move to the left. Yeah, so you can ask about that. So thank you very much once again, Kakak Francis. Very interesting and insightful, I can say. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Ibu and Bapak, if you have any questions, you can open your mic, or you can also write in the chat box. Yeah, and then let's have a discussion. Anyone? So I think we've got some questions on the chat box, but already addressed and responded by Ibu Ivone, yeah, just now. And then we've got the last one from Ibu Inida, for example. She forgot to appreciate the questions other than saying thank you. I think that's a part also the beauty of presenting your PowerPoint, yeah, your contents. Do you have any comments on that one, Ibu Ivone or Ibu Francis? Yeah. How to respond, for example, if you forgot, did you approach it after that, or what? Yeah.
You can email if you have the email. I think that's what I found. That's what I enjoy the most. Like I think Dangling mentioned earlier about going to a conference, networking. That is the best thing. So when people attend your session and they have questions, you can email them afterwards and then saying like, oh, okay, I forgot to say this. Thank you very much for your interest, and you can continue the conversation.
Right. Yeah. So building networks. Yeah. That's very good. We call it PLN, Professional Learning Networks. Yeah.
But saying thank you is already appreciating the questions, right, Ibu Nida?
Right. Right. But probably Ibu Nida don't want to repeat that again and again. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. While waiting, I remember when I have to do presentation, especially when it is a large audience into the keynote. During my first time, I was so nervous, Kakak Francis and Ibu Ivone. So normally I practice, in the past, I practice in front of the mirror, right? So I can see, my posture. But now I can practice in Zoom. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I also do the same, Harry.
Okay.
These days I practice using Zoom.
So you can see also, yeah, your face and eye contact.
And we can time our presentation, and then we can drop things which are not relevant.
Right.
Yeah, and I also do a kind of, I create notes, but only for the first words of each presentation, especially for long presentations. So I don't really write like the whole text, but usually I only write one sentence or a phrase that will sort of remind me of what I want to talk about on that particular slide. Yeah, especially when we give a presentation. These days during the pandemic, we often do webinars and things like that, and usually it takes like 1 hour to 2 hours, and it's very difficult to keep track of like 60 slides when you want to cover everything and you don't want to forget anything. Yeah, so that may help. Yeah.
That's true. I remember the word PowerPoint. So it should be a powerful pointers, right? Yeah, not the whole paragraph, for example. So we've got some questions here, Kakak Francisca and Ibu Ivone. From Mbak Anggi, yeah? Nice to meet you here. So to both of the presenters, if we want to engage the audience and make the presentation more alive or spice up, how can we know their general interest? Anyone would like to comment on that?
You want to use the example of Naruto, okay?
Yeah, Naruto. Yeah, that's a good one. I like Naruto myself.
Okay, so Ibu Anggi, now you know that if you are presenting and the audience is Paheri, he will respond to your examples.
Right.
Wow, how do you know? Of course, it's easy because we are all language teachers, right? So you can probably refer to examples from you can see the students level, and then the teachers normally know what the students like, and you can use something more general rather than a specific example that only you know in your area or something local. You can use examples from the world now, what's going on now, what's trending on the social media, and you can just comment on that, and just as a hook, just to make sure that people are relaxed before they tune into whatever you're gonna say.
Yeah, I like the part of stories or facts that you highlighted, Ibu Francis, yeah, because it can connect, yeah, to the audience. Ivone, do you want to add anything?
Usually I use something quite, what is it? I lost my word now. Controversial. So when people talk about a very controversial issue these days about hybrid learning and then maybe doing online learning and things like that. So find something which is relevant to that particular topic that everyone may know about so that you can relate easily to the audience.
Yeah, so I think the point is to get connection, yeah, to get hooked and connected to your audience. Yeah. That's very important. As early
because
as
at the end
possible.
of the day, it's not just about us, but it's about our audience. So we can use our own examples, but it may not be relatable to our audience, and they will not laugh when we want to laugh with them. So it's better to use something which is more general. Well, yeah.
I want to add. I think I want to refer to Padanglin's point when you attend a conference, a professional network that Pak Hedi mentioned earlier. Make sure you talk during the coffee break, during the lunchtime. Meet people and talk to them, and then invite them to your session, especially so that when you are in the room, you can talk about something that you talked earlier. At least you have one audience that will respond to it because you know it, right? It will make your nervous level down a little bit because you know that you have your friend there. So Ibu Bapak, don't worry. At iTELL, we are very, very friendly. You will become our friend. So when you come to conference, you can just, especially with iTELL, you can always refer to Pak Jati. And you can write Pak Jati, and Pak Jati will always say like, yes. So don't worry about it. It will help you ease your nervous level down.
Right. So again,
and everyone is nervous. Yeah, it's not only you. Like everyone is nervous. So don't worry.
Yeah,
we'll get nervous together.
Can I say something? Yes, I learned a lot from Pak Willy actually. Pak Willy technique to ease down the nervousness usually will mention somebody that quite popular in the room. Pak Willy, when I was there, always mentioned me. If Pak Willy and my session, I always mention use Pak Willy. So use your friend that people know to mention something. Pak Willy's presentation and blah blah and so on and so on. That's one way. I still remember long ago, Pak Willy put my picture in his slide. I was in the room. And I was surprised. What is he going to say about me? He is not telling me. Yeah. Then I learned, oh, okay. Yeah, that's his tactic anyway. Maybe that's a good one. Yeah, thank you.
That's one way of connecting. One way of connecting to the audience. By mentioning names, by mentioning some of the work that people in the audience have done. I think that is an excellent way for you to sort of make the whole thing more relatable to the participants. It's always tricky because we don't know who the participants are going to be.
Right.
But eventually it comes with experience. If you have done like 100 presentations, then you know how to deal with different audiences. I've had some experience giving presentations to a group of faculty members from a university in the Middle East, and these people I knew nothing about them. Some of them, actually teach economics. Some, teach business management, and some, only a few of the faculty members teach language actually. So that was kind of tough. But that experience helped me to be able to engage the audience, that I have in my next presentations. So experience is important.
Right.
Keep doing it. If you have done one presentation at iTELL 2020, do it again in 2021 and maybe 2022 as well. Chances are you have different audiences. So experience is very, very important. But of course, what you do with that experience is also very important. In other words, reflecting of what you just did, and with the aim of doing a better job in the future.
Okay, very nice input, and also let's say tactic as what Bu Francis mentioned just now. Yeah, experience is very important, and I think what we can let's see from our audience today is seems that nervousness seems to be prominent. Yeah, when people speak into publics, right? And I believe, as we highlighted just now, Bu Ivone and Bu Francis, we are all nervous, right? Yeah, even right now, I think. Yeah. So, do you have any more tips, probably for this one, how to deal with nervousness, other than using jokes, for example, or
jokes can be very tricky actually, because jokes don't always work. So don't try a new joke.
That's true, Pak.
It's very tricky, yes, and jokes are very cultural as well. Jokes that are funny in Bandung may not be funny in Malang, for example. But then it's but then Malang is a special place. It's always difficult to tell jokes in Malang.
Yeah, very true. I do agree with that. You tell jokes and then crick. The audience is like that.
Nervousness is normal, is quite natural. I think the two speakers mentioned that very clearly. Being nervous is fine, it's okay. But I think we need to understand why we are feeling nervous. We have to try to understand really, really well why we are feeling nervous. One of the reasons we are feeling nervous is that we don't know the content very well.
True.
Yeah. So you're not confident, you're not very sure whether the points that you are presenting actually make sense to the audience. So in other words, before you do your presentation, make sure that you know the content really, really very well. That's number one. Number two, of course, the two presenters mentioned it several times, practice. Remember that a professional singer on stage singing maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but ask them how much time they spend preparing before they come onto the stage. Very easily 10 hours. In the same way, before you do your presentation, make sure that you have spent at least 3 hours for a 30 minutes presentation, so that you really, really know the stuff that you're presenting very well. And if you know that very well, then you will not be feeling very nervous when you look at the faces in the audience, because that is possible. Because your mind is not busy thinking or trying to remember the content that we are presenting. In other words, you have sort of memorized the content in your head. I know memorization is not a very good word to use, but you need to know the stuff really, really, very well, so that you can do it without even thinking about it. So that there's enough space in your working memory to do all the wonderful things that Ivone and Francis mentioned earlier on, interacting with the audience, using, very good examples to engage the audience and things like that. So know the content really, really very well. I'm very surprised when I, hear people, saying to me, "Oh, my presentation is tomorrow, but I'm working on my presentation today." That usually doesn't work very well, unless Mas Jati. I mean, you just give him a topic and you can do it in the next 30 minutes.
No, that's not true.
But,
I need a lot of practice. Even if I practice, then I got nervous and I started losing my word, things like that. I do practice a lot, and looking at my slide, yeah, that's why I hate when people said, "Okay, can you give a speech?" Things like that. I'm not really good at that. Yeah, I need time to prepare. Yeah, a longer time to prepare compared to Pak Willy.
But Pak Willy, I think mastering your content is a little bit different from preparing the slides, right? I mean, if you know your content well, then the slide is cosmetic. You can just talk even without the slide. I mean, I once attended, I think in
yes,
one of
ideally,
the
yes. Yeah.
Asia TEFL in 2008, I think I attended Paul Nation's session, I forgot, and he gave a presentation without any PowerPoint, but still captivating the audience. So if people say that they haven't prepared the slides, sometimes I did that part, but it doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm going to say. It's just a matter of making my slides look a little bit beautiful here and there.
Yeah, I think that's another important point. The slides are not for us. The slides are for the audience. Remember that. Yeah. The moment you use the slides as the basis of a presentation, then you are basically shortchanging your audience.
Right.
Because you are now not talking to the audience, but you are talking to your slides.
Right.
Particular slides that are very, very wordy. Please avoid using slides, with a full sentence, unless you are quoting, from a source. So I like what Ivone said earlier on about the rule of 3. Yeah. Let's say that the whole presentation, you have 3 points that you want to get across. All right. And each slide also make sure that you don't have more than 3 points. And these 3 points will have to be presented in a way that is interesting, that is appealing. Use words or phrases, not sentences, because sentences are very difficult to process. I mean, in a normal situation, sentences are easy. But when you are listening to somebody talking about a new topic, so you're listening and you're reading at the same time, that is not easy. That is difficult. So the shorter the words, the less wordy the slides is, the better it is for the audience to process, to make sense of your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Willy. Very insightful. Yeah, preparation, prepare, and prepare. And of course, you need to add some more using tools like presentation. So, right. So we have several things here, Ibu Ivone and Ibu Francis. But I think we can wrap the two from Ibu Charlene and Ibu Nida. So what is the main difference between presenting in the conference and other kinds? And when we do presentation in teaching and conference, maybe the rules might be different. I think you can, they have the same idea there. Do you want to comment on that?
Yes, so thank you, Pak. And thank you, Bu Nida and Bu Charlene. A presentation is an event. Inside of a presentation, there are different presentation formats. So for example, we have a keynote speaker, and then we have plenary speakers or invited speakers, and then there are parallel presentations. There are sometimes symposium or symposia in which people talk about one particular topic, but there are several people in that particular session. Yeah. So there are also poster presentation. So you have a poster and then people come and ask you about your poster and you explain it to them. Presentation can also take the format of workshop. So there are many types. And for the iTELL 2022, I think there are 3 types. Yeah, Mas Daniel? Mas Daniel? or Pak Jati? Do you remember the
Yes.
3 types of the, yeah?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of parallels. Then we're going to have a plenaries and maybe parallel plenaries. We haven't really think about that, but it's going to be a lot of parallel. And also the environment is not threatening at iTEL, going to be very friendly. If you slip in Bahasa Indonesia here and there, that's fine. Not so scary, things like that. And the type mostly will be a little bit informal. That's in item, but there are, yeah, of course, different requirements for each role. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. So I think we have touched a lot of important points today, tonight. Yeah. So again, when you want to present, basically you have to prepare well, on your presentation or your content, and remember that it's the audience. Yeah, it's the audience while presenting yourself the best way. So I think that's the takeaway thing that you can have from these sessions. Any last words from the presenters? No?
Yes, a
Yes?
very small
Pak
point.
Willy, yeah.
Do your presentation on iTEL, and after that, do it again at the TEFLIN and Asia TEFL
right.
International Conference. And
That's very good, Pak.
and what the presenter Ivone is overall in charge of the conference. It's a huge conference. Yeah. So be nice to her, send the abstract to her, and she will, most likely approve. Abstract.
That's very true, Pak, and very encouraging. Thank you very
Pak
much, Pak
Willy.
Willy.
Yes. So do come to Asia TEFL, TEFLIN and iNeltal conference in 2021. It's going to be in Malang, so you can come in person. Then on your way home, you can go to Bromo and Batu and other places.
That's good. That's good. We have a lot of exciting things. Yeah?
So you have 2 chances to practice your presentation skills and build your experience, right, Pak Willy?
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pak Willy, for making time for us tonight. So, okay. So now we have had these very exciting and interesting sessions. So now we are going to go to the next agenda, which is this. Wait a moment. So is this the one? Yeah. So can anyone help me to share the information about, the winner of the tonight's session? We've got voucher and a t-shirt, everyone. So let me check. So for the t-shirt first, we've got 2, Pak Jati, right? Or 1? Okay. We've got 2. Yeah, we are generous today, tonight. Yeah, so we've got 2 people who got t-shirts. The first one, shall I announce that, Pak? Oh, okay.
Yes, Pak. Yes, please.
Okay, so the t-shirt is like this, Ibu and Bapak. Very nice, very comforting, I believe. Yeah, and it will be sent to you. Yeah, and please wear that one. Yeah, when you got it. So we've got 2 people who got the t-shirt prize. The first one is Ibu Nida. Congratulations, Ibu Nida. And later, please get in touch with Ibu Pinita and the team. And the second one, for those who got the t-shirt, is Banggi Prita. Yeah, congratulations. Okay. And this is what is normally been weighted by others. So we've got 1 audience who got the voucher today. Yeah, only 1. Yeah, got several already in their previous meeting. So the winner for the voucher is Bu Shirley. Congratulations.
Yay!
Okay. So again, thank you very much, everyone. So we have very interesting session today, and also we've got winners and a lot of key points that we brought home, bring home today. So I think that's the end of the session. But before that, we will have information about conference grants, that will be shared by Pak Jati.
Okay, thank you very much for conference grant. It's for teachers, hanya untuk guru, bukan untuk dosen, gitu ya. Lalu mengirimkan abstraknya ke email iTELL indonesia.tel@gmail.com. Grantnya full untuk conference fee, jadi tidak harus membayar conference fee, tidak termasuk akomodasi dan transport. Ya, so please do. Abstrak ditulis dalam bahasa Indonesia boleh, dalam bahasa Inggris boleh. Mungkin tidak harus formal abstrak, tapi cerita kira-kira apa yang akan disampaikan. 200 words, 200 kata, silakan. Ditunggu. Kalau 2 tahun lalu itu tidak full untuk conference-nya, untuk grant-nya, yang ini full. Jadi silakan dikirimkan. Sudah ada beberapa yang masuk emailnya. Kami masih punya beberapa slot. Hopefully if we can get another fund, mungkin nanti ada sponsor yang lain, kita bisa mengakomodir lebih banyak guru, mungkin lebih baik. Jadi no need to worry about conference-nya, abstraknya, dan seterusnya. Mohon Bapak Ibu dosen mungkin bisa menyebarkan ke MKMP nanti untuk berita ini, siapa tahu mau ikutan gitu. Kalau yang ingin dekat dari Jogja boleh, jauh dari Jogja boleh. So pengumuman abstraknya nanti akan tanggal 24 Januari, masih ada waktu. Untuk deadline pengiriman abstrak itu 14 Januari. Ya, jadi masih ada waktu juga. Kalau perlu bantuan menulis abstrak, nanti silakan japri ke Pak Raymond. Enggak, sorry. Hobi ngebully Raymond. Ya, thank you.
Thank you, Pak. Yeah, this is a nice chance for the audience, especially teachers. So go grab the grants and don't forget to send the abstracts, okay? So thank you, Pak Jati, for that. Now we are going to move to the announcement of social media challenge. Okay. Anyone would like? Is it Mas Daniel or?
Yeah, that's gonna be me, Pak.
Mbak Celia. Okay, silakan Mas Daniel.
All right. So I'll be quick. So Bapak Ibu, I know you have been waiting for this. I'd like to share my screen, and yeah. Last week we had social media challenge 2, and today I would like to, before I announce the winner, I'd like to announce what we'll have this week as your another challenge for your New Year Eve. Yeah. So here we go. Okay, so this is meme making challenge, Bapak Ibu. All right, something that you love so much, and we'll give you an example like this. All right, so the memes that you will create later should be related to your experience in attending a presentation or a seminar. Okay, and make it as fun as possible. And don't worry about the templates that we will provide for you a picture like this. Okay, and for the winners, you will have a chance to win an exclusive t-shirt and of course a voucher to attend iTELL Conference 2022. And please keep in mind that the deadline is no later than the 1st of January. And these are the steps. Okay, so think about a simple idea about your experience in a presentation, and then make sure that the sentences or any words used are yours. So, and we provide this link for the templates. So don't worry, we have as many as 13 templates that you can pick up. All right. And yeah, as usual, please use your own FB or Instagram account. And don't forget to mention these 3 aspects. All right, so now we come to the moment to announce the winner of last week's social media challenge. And are you ready? Of course you are ready. Okay, so the winner is, congratulations to the one and only Pak Ray. Okay, as he has given the best effort in putting his ideas to create a fun quote. And Pak Ray deserves to win the voucher, Pak Ray. So we will welcome you to Jogja in the next year. All right, so congratulations. And I cannot wait to see your participation in the next social media challenge. Thank you so much, Pak Mari. I'll give the floor back to you.
Thanks, Mas Daniel. Yeah, very interesting challenges that you always have. Yeah, the last one will be creating meme, and don't forget the deadline, which is the 1st of January, and also the hashtags. Congratulations, Mas Ray. And I think today you also got another award, yeah, which is like from the government. Yeah, congratulations also for that. Yeah, for being the best in your government there. Yeah, good to know for that. Yeah. So, Ibu and Bapak, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the session today. Thank you very much. We've learned a lot from the very first iTELL like Monday, the second, and also the third. We do hope that you can pick interesting and also insightful things from the sessions that we have. So we've got several information on the chats, like the books, the links to the books, the Telegram group, discussion group, and also the website conference. Please learn about that, and don't forget to submit the abstract on Valentine's Day. If you don't want to disturb your Valentine's Day, before that. Yeah,
before New Year.
Before New Year even. So I think that's all. We are happy to meet you on the sessions, and of course we will be happy to meet you on the conference in Jogja, especially on 7 and 8 of July 2022 in Sahid Raya Hotel Convention, Yogyakarta. So Merry Christmas once again, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Happy New Year. Thank
Happy
you.
New Year. Thank you so much.
Ya, selamat tahun baru.
Selamat tahun baru.
Ya,
semuanya.
menyambut tahun baru.
Menyambut. Right. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Pak Jati. Senang jumpa lagi.
Ya, nanti coba segera di tahun baru. Tahun baru we going to have another session later for Saturday TED Talk. That's going to be on the 8th.
Hah?
Ya, 8 Januari itu.
Yes.
Betul, nanti akan ada Pak Toar. So just follow our sosmed. There will be announcements there. Yeah.
Hopefully the time is like this, right, Pak Jati? Biar bisa join.
Oh, itu
TikTok
karena
sore
ada
ya?
tidak bisa karena ada pembicara dari Inggris. Yang dari Inggris kasihan.
I see.
So
Kapan itu?
Pukul 16.
pukul 16
Kapan?
tanggal 8
Tanggal 8 hari Sabtu ya.
Ya, Sabtu.
Jangan lupa ya, Pinita.
It's going to
Stay tuned in my WhatsApp status, Mbak.
Yeah,
Siap.
WhatsApp status, our status,
Pokoknya
and
FB-nya
also
jangan lupa ya pengumuman-pengumumannya.
Sure.
Facebook. Yeah, will be there. And it's going to be until March. So masih panjang kita sama UK. Yeah.
Okay, so let's
Ini-
end the session. Thank you very
Yes.
much. And
Thank you
Thank
very much,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Terima kasih semuanya.
Terima kasih.
Good night.
Bye.